My name is Layla Hendricks. I'm a junior at VCU studying graphic design, and I am the creative designer of this group.
Hi, my name is Kristen. You might notice we're missing a few members of our group today. They are currently finishing some last final touches on this and will be here shortly.
Our mission today was to basically collab with CoStar to give you guys a virtual mural in the CoStar lobby. We wanted to give some spunk and some nice sparkle to the lobby just for people to give it a second look and see what we've done at VCU. Our concept tiles is a mosaic made of images representing Richmond and the tri-state area. We wanted to incorporate and use vibrant colors and tile animations using photos and interactive and illustrative elements.
We started with, of course, focusing on colors and kind of what things around Richmond kind of offer art to the city, more or less. And we landed on this mosaics and murals and tiles. And figuring out how to make that move posed a few problems, and just the scale of the screens and everything we have going on here. Some things we had to keep in mind was the rate things are going, of course, the motion sickness. The volume that we were working at was pretty insane, and just how we're getting this moving and functioning. There's some pretty interesting solutions to that. So we can get this a bit later in the slide, but forming our mosaic, our collection of tiles on the screen. It's pretty crazy. We slowed down that animation a bit, took a bunch of photos ourselves, again, like our last group, rented a 4K camera from our school, and spun around all throughout Richmond. Every image that you'll see later in this presentation was taken by us, just about, or drawn by us. And yeah, that, and of course, getting a bunch of help from Max and Ryan to make this work. This is where we started. You can see kind of more or less 3 screens here, and working out exactly how many of those tiles we'd have going. This is a quick thing I threw together in my program just to see how we could function between images and these tiles. It went pretty far from this. Our final products, it's a stretch away from where we started. We ended up with about 400 individual tiles that we would place and animate ourselves. All of those were hand-drawn or edited in various ways to kind of form these larger images. And Layla had a bit of a stop motion. Can I hear talk about?
Yeah, I came up with this visual reference to show my team basically what we wanted to move on with. This was also another demo that we'd created. I decided to go in using stop motion, and I cut up all of the pieces of paper just to kind of create that tile turning animation by hand, and duct tape. I used duct tape. But all in all, it was just a way for Nick to Nick is also our animation assistant. He was helping us out. It was also a way for us to show him what we wanted to work with, and he made that happen from the ground up.
But yeah, this is where we ended up with our final kind of sets of images. We planned on kind of categorizing them by color. We were going out, sunrise, sunset, kind of getting every time of day that we could to kind of infuse our references, infuse Richmond with a bit more color per our group name. So yeah, this is where we started. And we broke each of these 3 sets of images into around 400 individual tiles. So you can see that on the next slide. This is where we ended up, just about. Some pretty crazy stuff happening here. It's generally this up close photos we took. All of these are just kind of hand drawn by us, or little spirals and stars and things you'll see. This is our first image, with a few more. This is the second one. There's a lot going on here. I know I've spent countless hours kind of going through and piecing out and placing each little tile and stuff like that. It was really fun though. Using stuff like this to build larger images was pretty daunting. This is kind of what it looked like as we were kind of doing this process. It's done now, clearly. But we had a grid underneath that was kind of cutting and cropping and matching each of these tiles too, which is kind of fun, honestly, a bit like a puzzle. And some of the blown up tiles you can see. In person, each tile is pretty big. It's 1.5 feet or so to match these big old screens. But seeing them like this, it's kind of crazy, the size that we're working with, the scale. But yeah, that's all we had.